everyone! Before you watch this video, make sure you've seen the previous parts, the links will be in the description. Welcome to the finale, finally. I'm sorry as always that this has taken me so long. I won't yap too much at the start here. I just want to thank you all for your patience and say that I'm super excited to have this story finished so I can work on something new. I hope you enjoy. Wait, where's the rest? Huh? This is it. Everything you own fits into one suitcase. Well, my apartment came furnished, and I figured there was no point bringing stuff like bedding, so I've just got my clothes and like my wash stuff. Oh, what's this? That's, my mom insisted I took it when I first moved out. I was just going to keep it packed away. Izuku pulled out the picture frame that was underneath one of Katsuki's folded t-shirts, and couldn't help the way he cooed at it. Stop, it's embarrassing. You were so grumpy and cute. I was not cute. Yeah, you were. Look at that face. You're still cute now, you know. He put it aside and stepped closer to reach up and cup the man's cheeks, making them flush pink as his eye twitched in frustration. That's offensive. I'm honestly offended. Gosh, toxic masculinity alert. Huh, no, it's just that. You think you're too big and manly to be cute? Well, you're cute, accept it. You're annoying. You love me. Where should I put my shit? Sigh, changing the subject. I see. Come on. We can make you a little section in the closet. They went up to Izuku's, well, their bedroom and unpacked Katsuki's singular suitcase together. It felt so warm, domestic, hanging his things up right next to Izuku's. And it seemed the freckled man was feeling some type of way about it too. He was being even clingier than usual, taking every chance to touch Katsuki, holding his hand, squeezing his arm, kissing him on the cheek. It was almost overwhelming. Katsuki had gotten used to living in the same space as him, but in the months he'd spent there they still kept a clear boundary between them, even when Izuku clung to him after a nightmare. Katsuki made sure he was only there to make him feel safe. This was different, and as Izuku held his hand and led him to his bed that night, his first night sleeping there since everything became official, the atmosphere felt heavy. He was nervous. I'm so happy. I think, I am too. You think? Well, it'll take time to get used to, but I think this was a good decision. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm glad. He pulled Katsuki onto the bed so they were sat side by side, and it seemed he clearly wanted to say something more, but instead he cast his gaze down into his lap as his cheeks were dusted red. What's the matter? Nothing? I just didn't expect for it to feel like this. I mean, we've shared the bed plenty of times now. I get it. This isn't the same. I want it to feel natural though. I want to feel how I usually do around you, comfortable, safe. Can I do anything to help? Maybe. He looked up into Katsuki's eyes and the blonde man felt his breath hitch in his throat. He never liked to admit it, but Izuku was breathtaking, and the way he looked at him would always send his heart into a frenzy. Distracted by the sparkle in his eye, Katsuki hadn't even noticed that Izuku was leaning closer, until their lips were pressed together. It was strange. The previous times they'd kissed, Katsuki had always felt scared deep down, like he was doing something wrong, but that feeling never came, so he simply allowed himself to melt against his soft lips and reciprocate. His hand instinctively moved down to rest on Izuku's leg, just as the other man brought a hand up to his cheek. Their mouths moved in sync. It was soft, slow, and full of meaning, like the both of them finally letting go of their hesitations. Well, at least that's how Katsuki felt. Izuku on the other hand could cry over how long he'd wanted to do this. They'd only met months ago, but Izuku felt he'd known him his whole life, or at least wanted to. It's like he'd always yearned for the feelings Katsuki made him feel. He'd dreamed of the man before he even knew of his existence. So he let himself go, moving his hand round to the back of Katsuki's head as he kissed him deeper, bringing his other hand up to his shoulder as he turned and swung his leg over the man's lap. Katsuki gripped his thigh and moved his head back in shock, but before he could even question what Izuku was doing, their lips were locked again. Izuku hummed against him. His breathing got heavier as their lips smacked, until Katsuki pulled back to latch his mouth to the man's neck. It wasn't until Izuku pressed himself down that Katsuki's eyes widened and he held him away to catch his breath. Wait, Zu, hang on. What? Why? We're getting carried away. You said you'd try to go back to the set tomorrow, right? Yeah, that's tomorrow. I may have left something on your neck. Oh, well, I can just get Hagakure-san to cover it up in the morning. Right, but I still think you should try to get a good night's sleep. Okay. He seemed to eye Katsuki hesitantly before climbing off of his lap. It was almost strange how easily he gave in. The blonde man expected him to argue a little more. Sorry, are you alright? I know I have a habit of pushing you too far. I don't mean to. I just really like you. I do feel the same, Izuku. I just don't wanna rush. Sigh, I mean it's been months but we only just agreed to actually date. I know. Ugh, sorry. I swear I don't mean to be like this. Something about you makes me this desperate loser. Pfft, you're not a loser. It's your fault, 'cause you're so hot it messes me up. I'm really not that. I will jump you again. Alright, damn, it's late, come on, we had a busy day, and you'll hopefully have another one tomorrow. Let's get some sleep. Yeah, you're right, I really don't wanna let anyone down. You won't, even if you do have to come back home, you won't be disappointing anyone, I promise. He reassured and slipped under the duvet, holding his arms out for Izuku to lay against him. They held one another as their hearts thumped in their chests, and eventually fell asleep. The next day. How are you feeling? I mean, scared, but I really do think I can do it today. He took a deep breath as Katsuki drove closer to the warehouse set for filming, and pretty soon they could see the crowds of fans waiting outside. At least now the production team were more prepared and had rails set up with the guards posted to make sure no fans could swarm and block the entrance, but Izuku was still nervous. I'll be with you the whole way. Do you think they'll get upset with me if I don't greet them? Of course not. They'll just be happy to see you getting back to work. It'll be reassuring to them that you're feeling better. I mean, it should anyway if they're actually your fans. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I think I'm ready. Katsuki reached across to squeeze Izuku's leg gently, offering him a reassuring smile before he opened his door to step out the car. Almost instantly, the screams from the fans grew louder at the sight of him. He still found it strange how Izuku's fame had somehow rubbed off on him, and he'd become so recognizable to his fans that they'd get excited just for him. He headed round to the passenger side and opened the door for Izuku, reaching down to hold his hand and help him out the car. The freckled man took it gratefully, stepping out and letting his wide eyes scan the faces of his fans. Come on, let's get inside quickly, okay? He managed to nod and begin walking, keeping his head down as Katsuki instead looked to the crowd, leading Izuku toward the entrance as his eyes darted around methodically, scanning for any potential threats. But the crowd were just calling out in support, holding up signs that wished Izuku well as they cried. Their eyes locked onto him as they hurried through, until finally they were inside. Whoa, I actually did it. Yeah, you did. I'm proud of you, Sunshine. Thank you. He blushed before gently releasing his tight grasp on Katsuki's hand. He was still a little shaky, but after letting out a sigh of relief, it was obvious he was feeling a lot better as they headed into the main hall. Nemuri-san, good morning, Izuku. It's so good to see you again. You're looking well. I'm feeling a lot better, thank you. Mornin' Izuku. Great to have you back. Sorry I put a hold on things here for so long. Please don't apologize. I would happily wait longer if it's what you needed. What happened to you was awful, unthinkable. I'm amazed you've even managed to come back this soon. Thank you. I promise I'm ready to film. I've been at home with nothing to do for so long that I ended up practicing my lines a whole bunch. Hopefully I'll be at the top of my game. I'm excited to see it. If it ever gets too much, you can let me know and we'll take a break. Right? Of course. I'll be fine, I'm sure, but thank you. He shyly wrung his hands together as Shindo brushed a hand down his arm. He guessed it was supposed to be reassuring, but Katsuki noticed how he tensed up a little and his eyes shifted toward him at the edge of the room. But the moment they looked at one another, his body relaxed again, and Katsuki felt his stomach flutter with butterflies, knowing that his mere presence was really enough to calm Izuku down, to make him feel safe. It was what he'd spent his whole life striving for. Despite his initial concerns, Katsuki actually didn't feel that bothered as he watched Izuku and Shindo act out their romantic scenes. He never thought that putting a label on their relationship would make much of a difference, but somehow it was putting him at ease. The session went well. Katsuki had never seen how the actual filming of a show went, but it seemed a lot faster than he expected. Maybe it's just because they didn't have to do many retakes, but it was actually pretty entertaining to watch. Hey, all done for the day? Do you think I did well? The man looked down and wrung his hands together shyly. His voice was soft and sweet. Katsuki hadn't ever really seen him act like this, and for some reason his instinctual reaction was to bring a hand up to pat Izuku's head. You did great, sunshine. Really? You're not upset or anything? He looked back up with sparkling eyes and Katsuki blinked in shock, moving his hand away and shaking his head. No, I'm fine. I know you're just acting, and you're really good at it. Hey, sorry to interrupt, Izuku, I'm super proud of you for today. I was honestly worried I'd have to film this series with someone else for a while there, but I'm so glad you're back. You did incredible today. Oh, thank you. I'm really happy with how today went too. I wouldn't have been able to do it without Katsuki. The man looked to Katsuki and gave him a curt nod, his eyes thin as he hummed. There was clearly something he wanted to say. What? Oh, nothing. No, you can just say whatever you're thinking. Shindo hesitated for a moment before sighing and looking back to Izuku. Well, I guess I'm just surprised you haven't gotten another bodyguard since the incident, not like a replacement, just adding another one, you know? Katsuki glanced over to see Izuku's reaction, and the man looked honestly downright offended. Why would I do that? It was just a mistake I made and it won't happen again, so I don't need any more guards. Zuit, it wasn't your fault, it's your bodyguard's job to make sure that doesn't happen, you can't blame yourself. Well yeah, but Katsuki wasn't even working at the time, I chose to go out without him and it was a stupid mistake. Obviously I blame the woman who actually abducted me, but I blame myself for even giving her that opportunity. I blame Katsuki for nothing. Well, I mean, Katsuki was the person who realized I was missing so fast and literally found exactly where I was and busted the damn door down to save me. Most bodyguards would never go that far, they probably wouldn't have even noticed I was missing until they clocked in the next morning. Then they'd report it to the police and move on with their day. Katsuki protects me better than I could ever ask for. He's the only person who makes me feel completely safe. Izuku, you don't need to say all that, I'm just doing my job. He cleared his throat awkwardly. Izuku had just gone on a complete rant about how amazing he was, and while it did fill him with pride once again over accomplishing his biggest goal in life, it was also incredibly embarrassing. I can't control what you decide, but I still think you should expand your security team. Despite being pretty flustered just a moment ago, hearing Shindo make yet another comment disregarding Izuku's decision frankly pissed him off, and he couldn't help the way his brow furrowed as he stepped forward slightly. Look man, I'm sure he appreciates you looking out for him, but right now I'm his only security and I need to secure that he gets home safely. Right, of course, must be a lot of work for just one guy, you know he's getting more popular every day. Yeah, and I can handle it. They held their stare for a moment, it was more of a glare at this point, and Katsuki relished in the way that he was looking ever so slightly down at the other man. Come on, I promise I'm fine Shindo-kun, I'll see you tomorrow. Izuku spoke shyly as he gently tugged on Katsuki's arm, making the blonde man finally tear his eyes away to turn and begin walking Izuku to the exit. Looking forward to it, the man called, and Katsuki could feel his sickeningly fake grin beaming into their backs. To his dismay, Izuku kept up his professional nature and turned to smile back, even offering a small wave before they exited down the hall. What a prick. Katsuki, you shouldn't say that, he's my co-star. I'll do my fucking best to be professional to his face for your sake, but I'll call him what he is in private. Sigh, I did think it was pretty rude what he was saying, but I've always really admired him. I can't imagine he means to be intrusive. Gosh, and I talked his ear off about you, didn't I? Yeah, that sure was something. I didn't mean to embarrass you. It's not that, it's just that I was worried you'd expose our relationship already. Oh come on, I'm not that stupid. I wouldn't be surprised if he's suspicious after all that. Really? No, surely it'll be fine. Katsuki sighed but dropped it as they neared the exit. He held on to Izuku's lower back and waited for him to be ready before escorting him back to the car. It went smoothly again. He kept his head down the whole way and let out a sigh of relief once they were on the road back home. When they arrived, Katsuki began making dinner, until he was interrupted by Izuku's quiet, nervous voice. Do you think I could check social media? If you want to, of course, or would you rather I read some posts out to you again? No, I think I want to look myself. Now that I've managed to go out again, this should be easy. You want me to come round and look with you? The food's just simmering at the moment. Yes please. Katsuki nodded and made his way round the counter to sit beside Izuku, just as the man took a deep breath and opened up his social media account for the first time in months, only to immediately be met with a viral post. At Zuzu_Midoriya was back on the set of Learning You today. This photo was taken while he was on his way in. Of course we're happy he's back, but is it really worth it if he still looks this afraid? Hashtag we love you Zuzu. Oh poor Izuku, he looks so scared. I wish he'd just stay home and take some more time off. Rest all you need Izuku, we can wait. I hate to see him like that. I wish he could smile forever. He doesn't deserve this at all. I'll forever hate the person who did this to him. Hashtag justice for Zuzu. God, I feel awful for him. Do you see how mad Katsuki looks too? Yeesh, it must have been really hard to come back, and I get everyone's concerns, but hopefully he's doing okay. I'm so sad for him. Hopefully once he got inside and started filming he felt a lot better. Remember everyone, he's just anxious to be around the fans. I'm sure Shindo and the crew are supporting him a lot. Humph, they all mean well but they don't know how I feel. Of course I'm scared, but I have to push myself or I'll never feel better. If I just hide from my fears then I'll always be scared. Not to mention they're all treating me like a child. Why do they baby me so much? I'm 25 years old? He huffed with a pout, and when Katsuki glanced across at him he couldn't hold back the laugh that escaped before he covered his mouth with a hand. What's funny about that? Sorry, I kinda get it. Gasp. Look, you're just really cute. It's hard to look at you and truly believe you're someone who can totally look after yourself. I don't think it has anything to do with what happened, it's just that you've always been so positive and it sometimes comes off as naive. Sigh, I guess. You know, that's pretty much the reason I went out on my own that day. I was trying to prove that I could handle things myself, or more so that I could still believe people were good. I really believed it would be fine because nobody would actually want to do anything bad. Hey, your heart is in the right place. Being more like me and believing that everyone has bad intentions all the time isn't exactly a great way to live. I wish I could have more of your faith and love for people, but there also needs to be a little bit of realism in there. Nobody is perfect, even great people do bad things, but that's not to say that everyone you meet will want to hurt you. You're right, I wanna make a post. About what? To say that I'm feeling a lot better and I'm excited to be back at work. Oh, go ahead then. I wanna take a picture with you for it. With me? Why me? Because then they'll see that I'm still being protected and supported by you at home. I guess. Fine. Hey everyone. It's been a while since I posted anything here, but I wanted to thank you all for caring about me. I see your concerns and it does warm my heart, but I promise I'm feeling a lot better and I'm excited to be back filming again. Thank you for your support. Also a big thank you at Katsuki_BBG for always being here to support and believe in me. What? Izuku, you don't have to mention me. Too late, it's already posted? You're a nightmare. He sighed as Izuku refreshed the page and instantly began reading through the comments, but Katsuki simply got back up to continue cooking. They think we look cute. Some of them are still babying me. That's inevitable. I think our ship hashtags are going to start trending again. So much for people not getting suspicious, huh? Oh come on, they're just doing what they always do. They don't know it's real. Alright, put it away. Food's ready. A couple months later. Since Izuku had been back at work, they'd already managed to film over half of the show. The director predicted only 4 to 5 weeks of filming left before they could wrap it up. But Izuku had been feeling pretty cooped up lately. He realized that all he's done since the incident is stay at home, visit his mom, or go to work. He hasn't gone out to do anything fun. So that's why he had convinced Katsuki to go on a real date. Of course the blonde man protested at first, said that it was too risky and they should at least wait until after the BL had released. But it didn't take long for Izuku to get him to cave. Hey guys, it's so great to see you again. You too? I'm so glad you could all come on such short notice. I absolutely suck at bowling, but it's so much fun. There's no way I wasn't gonna pull a sickie to leave work early for this. I'm gonna tell Shoto you faked. Gasp, you wouldn't. Katsuki? We invited them, you can't do that? I'm just kidding. Kirishima already set up our names on the machine, you're up first? Shiro gestured to Katsuki, who glanced up at the screen displaying their names, before heading over to search for the right ball. Hey, wait, before you go, I wanna make a bet. For what? If I beat you then I get one wish, but if you win then you get one instead. What? Izuku, I wouldn't even know what to ask for. Well that's fine cause you won't win anyway. Oh damn. Really huh? It's like that? Unless you're too chicken to accept altogether. No, you're on. Izuku grinned as Katsuki collected his ball and lined himself up to throw. He let the ball go with power and precision, but didn't quite get a strike. One pin was left standing. You really know how to rile him up already, huh, Izuku? He doesn't even realize I have him wrapped around my finger. I hate you both. Hey, you could still get a spare? Of course I'm getting a spare, dipshit. He huffed and grabbed another ball as the lane reopened, letting it roll down and hit over the remaining pin. Nice. You're actually really good at bowling? Why do you sound patronizing? A spare is good. Totally. Katsuki looked into Izuku's mischievous eyes and felt his heart pick up speed. He hadn't even seen him bowl and was already regretting accepting the bet. What the hell are you gonna make me do? Pfft, you'll see. The group played their rounds and ordered snacks and drinks. Izuku chatted with Katsuki's friends to get to know them some more, and honestly, it was the most fun he'd had in so long, even more fun than Halloween. They had the whole place to themselves. Izuku had pulled some strings with connections he had, and spent a fair bit of money, to make sure that he could go out for the day without getting swarmed by people. But it was definitely worth it, to be able to enjoy doing something he loved with some really great new friends, and his boyfriend. Hey Katsuki. Sigh, what? I'm winning by quite a lot now. I'm not even sure it's possible for you to catch up. He'd need to get a strike every time, and even then you'd have to never get a single strike again. Thanks, math genius. Wonderful to know. Hey, come on, I promise my wish won't be bad. You're still having fun, right? Izuku reached down to hold his hand as they sat together, and Katsuki rolled his eyes but smiled across at him. Of course, but I do hate losing, so I'm gonna also be pissed. At least you aren't actually losing. Hey, I'm trying my best. How many gutter balls did you get near the start? I needed to warm up. You're all assholes. Izuku laughed before standing up for his next turn, and the group continued to play until he inevitably won, but the only sore loser was actually the one in second place. Of course you'd scam me into accepting a bet I had no shot of winning. It wasn't a scam. You accepted fair and square, 'cause you were saying I'd be a coward if I didn't? I also warned you right away that you wouldn't win. But that just felt like a manipulation tactic. Face it, man, you suck at bowling. What, dude, I beat you? Yeah, I also suck at bowling. None of you suck. I just played a lot with my dad when I was a kid. Oh, you've never said much about your dad. Well, he passed when I was still young, but he taught me bowling and I liked going with my mom after he was gone. It was like a way to remember him, you know? That's so sweet. So really, thank you for coming today. I had so much fun. He beamed at Katsuki's friends, and even held out his arms to hug each of them one by one, before reaching out to hold Katsuki's hand again. We've got dinner to get to, but I really hope to see you guys again soon. Totally, thanks for inviting us. I had a great time. Likewise, let's not leave it like 3 months before meeting up again. Enjoy your dinner, and please don't tell Shindo I skived. We will, and I won't. They all headed out the building and Katsuki led Izuku to his car, opening the door for him before getting in on his side. Once the door was closed, Izuku hummed softly. What? Nothing. I just had a really lovely time. Oh, I'm glad. I know you're mad about losing the bet, but I promise I'm not gonna use it for anything bad. Oh, right. What is it that you want? I think I'd rather tell you at dinner. Seriously? You're gonna make me wait longer. Barely? The restaurant's not even far from here? Katsuki sighed but continued to drive until they arrived where Izuku was directing him, and the moment he parked the car and glanced up at the fancy building, he felt his stomach drop. Izuku, I'm not dressed for somewhere like this. Look, neither am I. It's fine. This was the only place I could book one of those private rooms in. Can't I just make dinner at home like normal? No? The whole point is that I'm taking you out to eat, so you don't have to cook. I like cooking. Come on, it'll be fine, let's just get inside. Katsuki felt his stomach twisting uncomfortably. He'd never eaten somewhere so fancy before, so walking inside wearing his usual black t-shirt and jeans made him feel even more out of place. Hi, reservation for Midoriya? The lady at the front desk scanned her computer before nodding and gesturing for another member of staff to lead the two men inside and up some stairs, all the way into a traditional Japanese-style room with sliding shoji doors. Whoa, so pretty. They sat onto the stools on the tatami mats and the staff left them alone, closing the doors as they left. You weren't kidding about the privacy. I figured this was the only way we could eat out comfortably. Where's the menu? Oh, they have a set menu each day. We don't order, they just bring us each course when we press this button. Yeesh, never mind, I still feel really out of place. There's no need, nobody cares what we're wearing. I paid a lot to be here, that's all they care about. Cha, can't believe you really spent so much money just to go out and have fun today. It's a small price to pay really, I get paid to do what I love, and I have so many people around the world supporting me. I get to live in a lovely house, and if I wasn't famous then I would never have met you. You're such a sap, but I am glad you can see the positives. Like this delicious food we're about to eat. He boasted and pressed the button on their table, and in what felt like merely 10 seconds, the doors were opening and a waiter was carrying their starters in. Thank you. Geez, this is like billionaire food. This place does have a Michelin star, you know. Katsuki hummed before prodding at the food with his chopsticks. It was some sort of fancy fish with leaves and sauce drizzled across the plate. Why, it's so yummy. Is eating this stuff gonna put you off my cooking? What? Never? I love your cooking, it tastes like home. This is really good. They ate quietly, appreciating such deliciously made food, until Isuku peered up into Katsuki's eyes and the blonde man blinked across at him cautiously. Katsuki? What? You're scaring me. I'm ready to use my wish now. Right now? In the restaurant? Well, it's a request that can't be fulfilled till another time anyway, so why not ask now? Strange. Alright, what is it? Just tell me. Once I've finished filming for the show, I want to take an actual break. Well, that's great. You deserve one. I want to go to Paris. Paris? Why? One of my favorite movies while I was growing up was set in Paris. It was so romantic and I always dreamed of going there one day with the person I loved. So, I want to go to Paris with you. You want me to come to Paris too? Well, if I'm going you've gotta come with me anyway. But I want you there. I want to have a romantic vacation with you. Isuku, I've never even left the country before. I went to China once when I was younger, but Paris is so different and I wanna see the Eiffel Tower. Don't you wanna get croissants and walk through the Louvre with me? Not really, museums are boring. Katsuki, I won bowling so you don't get a choice anyway, we're going to Paris. Sigh, fine, I guess. It might be nice. It totally will be. He grinned widely and leaned across the table to press a kiss to Katsuki's cheek, just as the waiter came in with their next course. Oh, I must have leaned on the button? I can come back. Sorry, thank you. The waiter scurried out the room and closed the door, making Isuku turn back to Katsuki to see how his cheeks had flushed red. God damn it, you better hope that guy doesn't say anything online? Oh come on. Even if he did say something, there's no proof. It's fine, Katsuki. I wish you'd stop stressing about that stuff. I'm trying. Fine, I'll just pretend it doesn't matter and keep eating this fucking great food. That's the spirit. 1 month later. Zoo, do you really need 3 of the exact same hat? Those are berets and they are literally the hat for Paris? Of course I need 3. They're different colors for my different outfits? But you're struggling to fit everything into your suitcase. Then I'll just get another one? You'll have to upgrade your weight capacity if you're bringing another suitcase. Ugh, but I can't sacrifice my berets. Why don't you just bring the black one? It'll go with every outfit. You sir, know nothing about fashion. All you wear is black. It's just easier that way. Plus, I still look good, right? Cha, obviously. Should I upgrade your flight so you can bring another suitcase? Yes please, Ida-san. Katsuki sighed as he looked from the mess of Isuku's things to his own neatly packed suitcase that contained a couple black t-shirts, black pants, and a casual black sweatsuit. It was honestly pitiful. What do you think I should wear instead? You're actually asking? Yeah. If you think my clothes are so boring, then what would you suggest? For starters, some color, blue denim or brown pants would be an easy start. Switching out one of your fancy black shirts for a white one, just to see. I do think more muted colors would look nice on you, a khaki green here and there, maybe a deep red if we're feeling bougie. It'll bring out your eyes. Since when did you know all about fashion? I literally have a personal stylist. Aoyama-kun's taught me a lot. Alright, well, what if we did a little shopping in Paris? Isuku gasped and dropped the shirt he was midway through folding, his eyes glistening as he reached across to grasp Katsuki's arms. Really? You mean it? Not just for me but for you too? Sure, whatever. I'll look for some clothes that aren't black. Isn't Paris supposed to have really good fashion stuff? Fashion stuff is honestly insulting, but I'm too excited to care. I called the airline. You've been upgraded and can pack an extra suitcase. but we do need to leave for the airport in 20 minutes or you'll be late. Oh God, help me pack. After a stressful 20 minutes, the two men hopped into the back of Ida's car as he chauffeured them to the airport. Checking in was simple enough, and of course they had first-class seats, so despite the flight being almost 19 hours long, it was relatively comfortable. However, once they arrived in the magical city of Paris, they simply checked into their hotel, and slept for longer than either of them had before. Katsuki, I regret everything. I'm exhausted. How long were we asleep? What time is it? 11 a.m. Oh, but didn't we land at like midday? It's the next day. Is this what jet lag feels like? Isn't that just supposed to make your time feel backwards cause of time zones? I guess, I've never been on a plane for that long. We can just relax for the rest of today? We should watch some French movies and order chocolate crepes. I am starving. We should get room service food. Where's the phone? Katsuki laughed as Izuku sat up in the bed, as though his previously mentioned exhaustion was washed away at the thought of delicious food. He listened as the freckled man called room service and excitedly asked to order all sorts of dishes and treats, until he lazily reached an arm out to wrap around his waist and sigh contently, pressing his lips to the bare skin of Izuku's waist. His voice became quieter, a little shy, as he finished up the call and hummed a thank you and goodbye. Katsuki, that tickles. My bad. You're not even sorry. I was on the phone. You just looked so cute. You know, when I first met you I thought your excited voice was pretty grating. Wha? Really? That's so mean. I know, but now it's just cute. You're cute. Why are you being so clingy? You want me to let go? No. It just makes me flustered. My bad, guess the city of love is already rubbing off on me. Really? I hated myself the moment I said that. Please pretend I never did. Never. I'll remember the way your hot sleepy voice murmured it against my skin. Ugh, stop. I'm getting up. How long did they say the food would take? She just said soon, so I guess, soon? Sigh, great. We can find a movie to watch while we wait? I doubt they'll have anything Japanese. Well, no, but they'll have stuff with English subtitles, I'm sure. I don't know any English. You didn't learn it in school? No, I ditched that class. Cha, of course you were a delinquent in school. It's fine, I'll just explain what they're saying. So I'll watch a movie and listen to you yapping the whole time? You just said you thought my voice was cute. Touché, fine, let's find something. He sat up against the headboard and tapped his chest, beckoning Izuku over to curl against him, and it worked. The freckled man grinned and rested his head down as he used the remote to flick through the hotel's roster of free movies. Just as they chose one that seemed interesting, the door knocked and in came their spread of delicious French pastries and drinks. Katsuki watched Izuku's eyes light up whenever he took a bite of something new, giddily chowing down and mumbling with a mouthful to translate the important points of the movie. But Katsuki was hardly even looking at the screen. He kept finding his eyes drifting down to the man leaning against him, and the longer they lingered the harder his heart was thumping. Katsuki? Your heart is racing. Are you okay? It's nothing, sorry. Am I being too much? No, Izuku, not at all. I'm just not used to all this domestic type stuff yet. But you don't hate it? Somehow, I don't think I do. It still scares me, but I think I love it. I love you. Izuku leaned in close, and Katsuki gulped thickly, looking into his earnest eyes and feeling his chest squeeze. I love you too. Izuku's breath hitched as his eyes widened, glistening as he froze like a deer in headlights. It was only that reaction that made Katsuki realize what he'd just said, and that it was the first time he'd ever said it to anyone besides his own parents. I didn't think Paris would work that fast. He practically whispered, and after a moment of silence they both laughed a little, easing up the tension. Katsuki was grateful. I know that came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting to say it either. I guess it just felt right. So you really mean it? Of course I do. You think I'm the sort of guy to say that without meaning it? No, of course not. I just didn't want you to regret saying it. Well, I don't. Good, 'cause I love you. I love you too. Izuku gasped louder this time, and in the blink of an eye he had dived forward to crash their mouths together in a desperate kiss. Katsuki could hardly keep up, but he tried to. His hands brushed down until they were round Izuku's waist, and the smaller man shifted his weight to swing a leg over Katsuki's lap, straddling him as his fingers brushed through the back of his hair. Katsuki. I don't want to push you. What? You're always hesitant with this stuff and I know that and I don't want to get carried away again, but you said you love me and I'm all worked up and I just... Izuku, take a breath, we have all the time in the world, and... I think I'm ready. Wait, really? Yeah, I just didn't want to rush and ruin anything, but I think I've made you wait for my paranoia long enough. Are you sure? Because... Katsuki rolled his eyes and pulled Izuku forward to connect their lips again, slower this time, no more frenzied urgency, and he felt the man relax against him. Ahem. I'm finally going to write another additional 18+ SMUT section over on AO3, the link will be in the description. But this is adult content for my adult audience, if you're underage and still choose to click the link and read it, because I literally have no way of stopping you, then all I ask is that you do not comment your age, which is basic internet safety anyway, and do not try and make out that I've either ruined your innocence or that you read it and it's fine because you lost your innocence when you were 10 or some shit. I'm so tired of those disgusting comments. Last time I wrote SMUT I said I was done for good. I'm saying this now, if the comments on this video are all children talking about the SMUT, I will never be writing it for my videos ever again. This is just me testing the waters. With that warning out the way, either go and read the extra part linked in the description, or just continue watching the video that simply skips what they got up to that evening. Once they'd slept off the rest of their jet lag, the two men spent the next few days of their trip sightseeing around Paris, doing some shopping, eating a lot more delicious French delicacies, and even touring the Louvre despite Katsuki's initial reluctance. Until finally it was the day they had booked a time slot to go up to the top of the Eiffel Tower, and Izuku was practically bouncing off the walls with excitement that morning. They stopped to get baguettes for lunch later on the way, and once they reached the surreal structure, even Katsuki was a little starstruck. It seems so much taller in person. Right? I'm not scared of heights or anything, but this doesn't even feel real. We're really going all the way up there? You're totally scared. What? No, I'm just, maybe a teensy bit nervous. Ah, don't worry sunshine, I've got you. Stop teasing me, once I'm up there I'll be fine, I'll bet the view is real pretty. Hey, our time slot is coming up, let's get over there. Izuku nodded as they headed right up close to the base of the tower. They showed their tickets and began climbing the steps up to the middle floor. It's a good thing I started going to the gym with you, this is a lot of steps. I'm not carrying you if you get tired. Humph, what a gentleman. They eventually reached the elevator that would take them the rest of the way up, and stepped inside with a few other people. Izuku was holding on to Katsuki's hand as they stepped out onto the viewing deck, right at the top of the Eiffel Tower, but he pretty quickly let go to instead hold the rail as he looked out in awe. Whoa, this is incredible. It's pretty great, yeah. Despite being on vacation, Katsuki still couldn't help the way his eyes glanced around at all the people. He was the same when they went to the Louvre. Places full of tourists put him on edge. Sure, they were in a different country, on pretty much the exact opposite side of the world that Izuku was most famous in, but these days Japanese media was getting more popular in other places. More so anime than the live-action movies and shows, but he wasn't so naive to think that in such a tourist-heavy location Izuku wouldn't be recognized. Come on, you're barely even looking. What, are you scared? Cha, yeah right, I'm always a lot more worried about people than anything else. Oh, hey, you don't have to worry about that. We're on vacation, stop thinking with your work brain. I can't just switch it off Izuku, I worry about you. Sigh, part of me wishes you wouldn't, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't like that about you. He chewed his lip in attempt to hide his smile, but Katsuki only laughed, until he was pulled down as Izuku connected their lips sweetly. Zoo. Ah, I don't want to hear it, I wanted to kiss you so I did. Sigh, you're a nightmare. He ran a hand through his hair in exasperation, but Izuku was already grinning as he looked back out over the city of Paris, and he couldn't possibly scold him. They took in the sights until their time was almost up, and it was just as they were getting ready to leave that a girl shyly stepped in their path. Hi. You're Izuku, right? Sorry, I don't speak Japanese. When Izuku's bubble is this color, he's speaking in English. Oh, hello? It's okay, I know some English. Are you a fan? Yes. My name's B. I watched Distant Hearts with my best friend and we loved it so much. I can't believe I happened to see you on the Eiffel Tower of all places. Ah, funny coincidence, huh? I'm so sorry to disturb you, but could I ask for a picture? I have got to send it to my bestie, she'll lose her mind. Of course. Ah, Katsuki, could you take our picture? Sure. The girl handed him her phone and Katsuki waited for the two of them to pose. After he snapped the photo he couldn't help but let out a chuckle. Cute. He handed the phone back and the girl beamed at it before looking back up to Izuku. Hehe, thank you so much. You're welcome, enjoy the rest of your trip B. She nodded before rushing off presumably to her family, leaving the two men to head back into the elevator to get back down to the ground. That was so unexpected. You're so famous you're even getting recognized overseas now? I guess so. I didn't think that would ever happen. Even more reason for me to worry about you. Humph, it's fine. She was totally sweet and harmless. I know, but you best believe I'm never letting you out of my sight. I wouldn't mind that at all. He giggled and Katsuki rolled his eyes but couldn't help smiling along. They enjoyed the rest of their day out, having a picnic at lunchtime and doing a bit more shopping. Izuku even dragged Katsuki into a photo booth to make a cheesy memory, before they headed back to the hotel for the evening. Once they got inside Izuku flopped onto the couch and sighed. They'd had a busy few days, and it was beginning to catch up to him, so the only thing he wanted to do was laze around and scroll through social media. However, once he opened the app, he was instantly met with the picture he'd taken with the fan earlier that day, and his face lit up excitedly. I met Zuzu Midoriya today. Crazy, we both happened to be on vacation in Paris and going up the Eiffel Tower at the same time. I'm so lucky. He's so sweet. She posted it. B, the girl from earlier posted our picture online. It's gotten a lot of likes and comments. I wonder what everyone's saying. Let me see. He sat down and pulled his own phone out. The two of them began reading comments and Izuku was just feeling his heart swell. He looks so happy. I'm so glad he's enjoying his vacation. I hope it makes him feel a lot better. You're so lucky to see him in such a magical place too. I hope he's doing well. OMG, I bet Katsuki took the photo. Katsuki 8. It was probably just her family. Katsuki 8. Shindo world domination. I dunno who Katsuki is but he was with a man and he did take the photo. Bumble Beatrice. Was it the man in my profile pic? Blonde and buff as hell? Buff Zuzu forever. Yeah. I'm not online much. I didn't realize he was popular. I thought he was scary at first but then he smiled and he was so pretty. I was worried he was mad at me for disturbing their date. Bumble Beatrice, you shouldn't just assume they were on a date. That man is his bodyguard. That's weird of you. Ochako Koro 2712. Is their relationship not public knowledge? Bumble Beatrice. Wait, tell me you saw something? OMG. What do you mean relationship? Katsuki 8. I saw them kiss. I waited until they were about to leave before asking for the photo because I didn't want to disturb them. They were so cute. I'm so sorry if I've accidentally exposed something I wasn't supposed to though. Oh, Izuku, look at this. What? His heart skipped a beat as he looked over to Katsuki's phone. Breaking news. A fan who met Zuzu Midoriya on his vacation in Paris claims to have seen him and Katsuki BBG kiss while on a date up the Eiffel Tower. Is this just a false rumor? Or could there be truth behind this claim? I mean, there's no proof so it's fine, right? Izuku, the show hasn't even begun to air yet. The production team is going to be so mad at you. You'll get a bad reputation with directors and Katsuki. I've always told you I don't care about any of that. If people are going to be mad at me for dating someone I love then fuck them. This job is your dream. Izuku cut him off with a kiss, reaching out to hold his hands and look into his eyes with conviction. I promise I wouldn't let anything get in the way of my dream, but that dream includes you now, so I'm absolutely not choosing acting over you. I'm having both. Katsuki didn't have anything to counter that. He merely felt the guilt eating away at him as he continued to worry regardless, and Izuku could feel it, so he let go of his hands to grab his phone again. I'm calling Nemuri-san. What? But. He stopped as Izuku pressed her contact and held the phone up to his ear as it rang, until she picked up. Hi Izuku. How's your vacation going? Wonderfully, thank you. I was just calling to ask if you'd seen anything about me online today. Yes, I have seen the rumors. Is it too invasive of me to ask if they're true? I'm actually calling to tell you that they are true, and to ask how it would affect learning you if I were to tell my fans that I am in fact dating another man. You want to confirm the rumors, make it public? If that would be alright with you. Of course. Are you crazy? The press would be insane. Are you sure? 100%? If your fans know you're dating a man, co-star or not, that will make the entire series feel more believable. It'll amplify that chemistry the two of you had. Not to mention the fact that your name will be buzzing around online for a while leading up to the release. Honestly, Izuku, I could imagine nothing better. I guess you're right. Wow, thank you so much, Nemuri-san. Of course, now stop thinking about work and enjoy the rest of your break. Will do. They said their goodbyes and Izuku ended the call with a gleaming smile. Katsuki hadn't heard both sides, but he'd heard and seen enough to gather that Izuku had gotten his request. Are you definitely sure this is a good idea? Yes. I cannot wait to tell everyone who drools over you that you're mine. Seriously? Hey, I really want to do this, but I won't if you're not comfortable with people knowing. Alright. Oh, no, I mean, I'm fine with that. I want to be able to be with you publicly too. I just don't want it to jeopardize you in any way. Then it's fine, cause I won't let it. You're gonna make a post or something? I think I'll post a picture of our cute photo strip from that booth earlier. I love it a lot. It is cute. They both felt their hearts thumping in their chests and Izuku snapped a photo and began writing a caption. Once he was done he hesitated a moment. They read over it a bunch, taking a deep breath, before Katsuki reached down to hold his hand. They looked at one another, and the blonde man nodded encouragingly. It was all Izuku needed to look back down and hit the post button. Hey everyone! This is a pretty scary post to make, but I believe in my fans that you'll always love and support me, so I'm here to be honest with you all and say that Katsuki and I are dating. I really do love him lots, so I hope you'll all love him too. The reactions to his post were a little mixed. Some people were mad about Izuku not dating who they wanted him to date, some were just straight up homophobic, but most people were definitely supportive, wishing them well and sending their congratulations. Izuku of course proved himself to Katsuki by continuing to get roles in bigger and better productions, inevitably getting more famous and dragging his boyfriend further into the limelight. They ended up having to convince Kirishima to join his security team since even Katsuki was getting overwhelmed by the swarming crowds in public. But despite how busy they were, they still made sure Izuku was taking breaks, going on dates and hanging out with their friends. And even though this was never the sort of life Katsuki thought he'd live, he wouldn't change it for anything. The end. Woo, I'm so relieved this is finished. Don't get me wrong, I do love this story and I'm mostly happy with how everything went, but I definitely struggled with these last two parts. I guess I'm just really not cut out for making longer stories. I always knew this about myself, but it became a lot more prevalent with the end of this story, that I have a much easier and more enjoyable time with writing the process of two characters falling in love and getting together, over the part where they're actually dating. So, I'm sorry to all my lovey-dovey relationship story lovers, but I'm just not so good at that stuff. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this story, and you'll look forward to what I'll write next. I think I'll have a poll up in my community posts very soon to help decide what you'd like to see, so keep a lookout for that. Thank you for watching, love you all so much. Bonus pick. Meet our new kitten Suki. Get it, I called her Suki cause she's a cat, Cat Suki. P.S. Happy birthday Katsuki BBG, I love you.